before, it's highly unlikely that there's much water in that section. And very, very, very dangerous situation sitting there. And if you ever get a chance to look up a fella by the name of Michio, he's a doctor, he's a theoretical physicist, and he is very fearful that it will just take one wrong move for a full-scale meltdown of all of those nuclear stations. So very, very dangerous situation. But I was watching the chat box, and of course iodine has been a topic going through here again, and people are concerned about that and about doses and things like that. The fellow that was speaking, he did mention different kinds of foods and also the clays too, which are great, and the kelp pills are really, really good. The only problem with the kelp pills is that the dose of the iodine in them is so low. They're usually about 635 micrograms in one kelp tablet, which isn't 1 milligram yet, and you're going to need 6 or 7 milligrams a day at this point. The other thing is potassium iodide, which you have to be very, very careful with taking that, because there has to be a certain level around you in order for you to use that. But once again, too, even though an adult dose of potassium iodide would be 130 milligrams, remember that that is not 130 milligrams of iodine. It's a combination of potassium and a combination of iodide, and you have to consider that, you know, each substance has a weight property, and there's a whole formula that has to be calculated when you do the compounding on that. So it's not going to be the same kind of a measurement. So you know, if you can get around 6 or 7 milligrams a day, and a lot of the liquid iodines that you get, one drop will usually contain about 6.5 milligrams, but you have to make sure that it is the oral iodine that you can ingest. Some people at one point were applying it topically on their body, but I don't think your body will absorb enough that way to saturate your thyroid. So the thing is we need monitoring to know what the levels of iodine in the air are in order to do that. But if we do our iodine regular a day, that's pretty good protection. And most North Americans are short in iodine anyways, because it's not big in our diet, and it definitely is not in our soil. It's severely depleted in North America. So, and women have more iodine in their body. We have up to 25 milligrams of iodine in our body. Women hold it in their breasts and in their ovaries, and men would hold it in their testes and in their thyroid. And when a woman is pregnant, the baby's actually saturated with iodine from the mom, so the mom would be depleted if she's pregnant too. So yeah, so if you can get your iodine, and then there's your foods. I mean, there's your seaweeds and things like that too. And what I'm seeing on our shelves here, I'm in Western Canada, a lot of our shelf seaweed is stuff that's probably been sitting there still for the last few months. With it only being a month into this, I don't think that there's really been a big harvest of seaweed and put out yet. I think it's going to just be starting to circulate here soon. So if you can still get some, get it now. And the fellow speaking to, he was talking about the French clay, and there's bentonite and stuff like that too. So make sure you follow your directions on when you're using that. And he talked about vitamin C as well, but when you use your vitamin C, you have to have a vitamin C that's got bioflavonoids in it. You can't just use your straight vitamin C, because in the bioflavonoids there is something called rutin, and the rutin is a property that will help drop out heavy metals out of your system. So remember your bioflavonoids. And my son and I, we're doing very high levels of the vitamin C and flavonoids at this moment. We're taking anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. And the way you can determine on your vitamin C levels, if you're taking too much, you're going to get diarrhea. And I know some people, and I've even had some patients that I've put them on 10,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C. depending on what their conditions were, and they've done well on it. So yeah, so remember your vitamin C's as well. And there are different tinctures of iodine on the market, and I know up here in Canada it's short supplied and back ordered, but even and I don't know what you guys are like down in the States for supplies, but certain things here are getting pretty scarce now, so you have to get out there and get what you can get, or network with some other people that if they have access to certain things, get them to get things for you as well. Yeah, the bentonite clay is really good for mixing into your water there too, and drawing stuff out for you. So yeah, keep up on those things, keep up on your diet, keep up definitely on your rest, and try to keep your stress levels down, because it's proven that our moods have a very, very big effect on our immune system. And so try to keep your stress levels down, and have some enjoyment in life still, because we're still here living, so we better make the best of each day while we're here and while we've got it. Okay, M2, I'm going to pass the mic over to you. Had gained, and he started to show it by so many years of how the knowledge had been gained. And after those early 1900s, how it sped up so quickly that by, I'm just kind of guesstimating right now because I'm trying to recap what he was talking about, but in approximately a 30 or 40 year period, there was another 6,000 years of knowledge gained in that short of a period. Anyways, when you're talking about exponential things in the world, what he finally came to was, now we are achieving 6,000 years of knowledge in a 1 month period. Now that is mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. I can't even grasp that. I can't even get myself around that. But yet we know that for most of us anyways, a year no longer seems like a year. A year feels like maybe 3 or 4 months. I know for me, a week feels like 1 or 2 days. And it just seems like the time has changed so much. And maybe it's because I'm getting old or something. I don't know. But it's not just me who's saying this, but it's the young people who are saying this now too. My son, he's 21 years old. He says the same thing. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of young people, and they say the same thing, that the time just seems like, it's almost like time is meaningless now. It seems to go so quick that you can't even really measure it. And I don't know, I believe strongly that this whole world and everything that is taking place. Let me put it to you this way. When I look back on my life and the events that have happened in my life, and yes, there was a lot of events that have taken place that I didn't like, but after the events have taken place and I've gotten the understanding, I've realized, yeah, John Vello, awesome, fantastic stuff. If you get a chance, look through The Maya of Eternal Time is good, and then there's another one about, I can't remember the name, I'll get it later. I look back, and there was a lot of events that have taken in my place, and some of them very serious and have caused severe grief for me. But when I look back after the events, and I put together the pieces of my life, I can honestly say that it was all for a purpose. And there was a reason. And maybe I don't know the reason or the purpose, but just because the way things took place before, during, and after, I can honestly say it was all for a purpose. And sure, maybe I didn't like it. Maybe I didn't like the event. Maybe I didn't like what I went through, and maybe I'm still uncomfortable about it now. But it was still for a purpose. And no, I can't answer why all these things are happening in the world, because things are so out of control. And that for me right now is the hardest part, is that so many things are out of my control. Because, you know, we're creatures of comfort. We want to be able to control. We want to be able to manipulate. We want to have things predictable. That's just our nature. But we also have a very, very deep instinct of survival within ourselves, that we will survive and we will get through the worst events and calamities that can happen to us outside of our death and how we die. We have that instinct in us. I'm not sure, sorry, Ann, I got off the track here. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to pass the mic over to you, but if you get a chance to look at any of Drunvello's vids there, I think you'll be quite impressed, because this Maya of eternal time, it's a little bit slow, and it may seem a little bit boring to some who like more stimulation. But if you pay attention, you will see and hear how he brings so many things together. And you'll have your aha moments where you'll be going, see, I knew it. And I knew that fit with this, and I knew that fit with that. He brings it all together in just such a nice way. Just like I was talking earlier about the woven thread of the tapestry. So I think you'll really enjoy his stuff, and how he puts it together. I know on YouTube there's several videos that you'll have to like go through to get it all, but he does have, for any of you who are using your torrents or whatever you're using for your movies, you can get his movie, and it's about a 2-hour movie, and then there's some other ones done by him too. So I think you'll really get a lot out of it. Okay, Ann, I'm going to give the mic to you now.